wondered why the market always goes against you? Many times after you've bought a share, then share prices started to drop. Is it because that the market doesn't like you? How do we overcome this situation then? M+Wiz, which alerts on potential entry for trending stocks, might do the trick for you. Is that all for the Wiz feature? Not at all. To find out more, please visit us at mplusonline.com/wiz. Have you ever wondered why the market always goes against you? Many times after you've bought a share, then share prices started to drop. Is it because that the market doesn't like you? How do we overcome this situation then? M plus Wiz, which alerts on potential entry for trending stocks, might do the trick for you. Is that all for the Wiz feature? Not at all. To find out more, please visit us at mplusonline.com/wiz.
Hello, good evening, everyone. All right. Good evening, everyone. This is Elkie here with you guys today. Hi, good evening. All right. How are you guys doing? Okay. Today topic is not really Chinese New Year. Okay. It's called Chinese New Year Rally because I'm not sure if you guys heard of this thing called CNY Rally. In the market, there is a saying whereby when it comes to Chinese New Year, when it comes to new CNY, there will be a rally happening in the market. Okay, so we just had the Chinese New Year, and we are observing some rally in the market. And today, our section will actually discuss what is this rally about, and what it is actually happening, and what to do, what to expect. Okay, all right. So this will be basically what we are focusing today. Okay. Hi, Irene. All right. Okay. So thank you for joining our section today. And if you think any of your friends that might be interested in joining our section today to know about this, okay, and know what to look at for the next few weeks to months, okay, feel free to tag them and also share out our video, okay, so that they can join us for our live section, or they can view it back later from our Facebook video. Okay, our video will make available online for them to play back. Okay, after the section. So if you tag them, they're able to play it later. Okay, so if you have friends that interested, feel free to tag them. Okay, so let's start our section today. Okay, start with a little bit background from me. Okay, my name is Elkie. I'm a futures dealer from M Plus Online. So I've been in this industry for coming this year is my 10 years in this industry. Okay, not too fresh, but also not that old yet. All right. So I've been engaging with all this started with futures, and then learn about trading, all this thing, and I've always have this interest to finding all these opportunities and all these opportunities and spot to make money in these markets. Okay, and I like to collaborate it with some statistical reading, all this thing, and that would be very crucial and important in our section today. Okay, so today what I'm gonna share with you guys are mainly my opinions. Okay, my opinions from my personal opinions. So none all these are general information and shouldn't be taken as an investment advice. So if you need any investment advice, do look for me privately or any of our dealers in our team. Yeah. All right. So what we're gonna talk today is we're gonna talk about seasonality. Actually, okay. This Chinese New Year rally is actually one of the seasonality in the trading. Okay, and how we can take advantage of it. Okay. So basically, what is this seasonality that we are talking about? Basically, seasonality, it actually tells us that is a specific move that happening in the market over and over again every year. Okay, so why I put the title for our session today as Chinese New Year Rally is because every year we have Chinese New Year, and we can actually see that is we can actually identify that is a repetitive movement in the price action when it comes to Chinese New Year this period of time. Okay, so basically you can see it just fits the explanation of seasonality in trading. It repeats itself, the movement it repeats every year, and it occurs at a specific time frame, which is the Chinese New Year time frame, mid of February to mid of January or end of January until February, in this case. Okay, so any of all this predictable price fluctuation that occurs at this specific timeline, we can say that it is seasonal. And because if we are able to identify that this is seasonal, then we can actually predict the potential price fluctuation, the potential price movement that's gonna happen every year at this time. Okay, and that we can perform better than others in this market. Okay, and also this also explain why some of those professional traders, some of those some of these seasonal traders, and also why some of these certain individual stocks tend to perform better during certain periods of time. Okay, so basically the concept of seasonality, it comes in many ways. Okay, it can be not only Chinese New Year seasonality, but it also can be in US wise. They can have summer winter seasonality for US stocks. Okay, for other foreign exchange. Okay, for Malaysia wise, it will more towards CPO side on planting and harvesting, the monsoon seasons kind of seasonality, and Chinese New Year, all this festive seasonality is another part that we can look into. And also something like sell in May, go away, a saying in the market, because May is kind of like the summer in the US sites, and many farm managers they kind of like take a break, go on summer trip, road trip, all this thing. So the activity in by all these foreign farm managers will be lesser. So if we look into the price movement in May, June, all this, we will see a drop in the price movement. They will be, many are selling the shares. Okay, the share price tend to go lower. All right. Later on, I'm gonna share with you guys some of the stats, data, and all this. Okay. All right. And of course, one of the most popular one that everyone knows is the year-end window dressing. Okay. So all this that we are talking about, they are the so-called the seasonality in the trading. These are the price movement, the fluctuation of the price movement that they repeats every year at a certain period of the time within the year. Okay, and if we able to identify what kind of movement that they react, and what are the stocks to look into during this period of time, then we will be able to take advantage of it and be benefit from it. And you can even set up your own trading strategy from there. Okay, so basically all these patterns, they are 1 year cycle. Okay, you can see all this seasonality that I was sharing with you guys, they are 1 year cycle, and they are pretty much consistent. Okay, like the period of the happening are the same. Okay, about the same. Like for Chinese New Year, it's always about somewhere around mid-Jan to mid-February, this period of time. That's why it's very hard for me to put a Hari Raya seasonality, because Raya it actually changed. The date for Raya actually changed quite rapidly. Okay, from year to year. Okay, I think within next 3 or 5 years, the Raya will come on the same day with the Chinese New Year. Okay. Yeah. So when it comes to seasonality, we have to really like make sure we're able to identify when is the period. Then we can only tackle into that period and find what are the opportunities lying there. Okay. And yeah, so this is what we are talking about. It has to be a fixed timeline, like a climate season, a holiday season, or company earnings season, all this. Okay, so by focusing on all this season, then we're able to see, we can focus on what type of stocks, what type of sectors that we're looking into it, and what kind of price movement that they have, and collecting the historical data for up to 10-15 years, then we can kind of have an idea what's gonna happen. Okay, if we're able to identify a consistent movement based on all this historical data, then it actually give us an idea what to trade during that period of time, and that actually give a little bit upper hand compared to normal retailer trade normal retailers normal traders in the market. Okay, so later on during later part of the section, I'm going to share with you guys what are the things that actually I have been sharing with some of my audience, of my clients, um, about how to take advantage of the Chinese New Year strategy. Okay, even before the Chinese New Year. Okay, okay, many some of you guys are wondering, okay, you're talking about all this seasonality. Are they just coincidence or what? Why all this are happening? Actually, one thing to that can explain why all this are happening is because most human activities tend to have a seasonal cycle, meaning humans are predictable. Everyone, they have a routine, they have to follow their schedule to do the stuff. So same with all this company. If if today you if today okay, in Malaysia we know that February, May, all this, they are heavy QR months. Okay, most of the companies, they will um set to release their result in end of February, end of May, end of August, all this. And this is a routine and schedule that happening among the in the companies. Okay, and with all these routines, they actually give us the so-called the seasonal cycle, the cycle that keep on repeating and happening. So as well as all these human activities like holidays, we tends to have Christmas every year in end of December. We have Chinese New Year. We have all these school holidays, all this thing. And during this period of time, people, they react identically during this period. So when it comes to Christmas, people tend to spend more to get presents for their loved ones. Or Valentine's, okay, Valentine's, people are getting chocolates, all these things. You can see GCP recently, the price keep on going up, right? The demand for the chocolates, okay. And also Chinese New Year, the demands for specific products also have been going up. Okay, so all the spending habits that are happening during this on this period of time is actually predictable. Okay, but what we need is we need to spend a little bit more effort and also look into all these minor things so that we're able to capture the opportunities from there. Okay, and also in planting season, harvesting season, or during the monsoon season, okay, or summer winter season, there will be a change of supply and demand on all these commodities, like palm, like heating oil, all these things. The demand and supply, it will change. Okay, like in winter, the demand for the how is the demand for the heating oil for to keep everyone warm, all these things. Okay, yeah. So with all these things, it actually explain and also create the seasonality in the price movement that we are seeing today. And what we are looking in today is looking into all these minor aspects, and from there we're gonna build a strategy and look for the opportunity to trade using all this. right? Okay, so basically that will be the broad idea of what is a seasonality. Okay, then here comes the important part, how we can take advantage of the seasonality. Okay, basically I break this seasonality into two parts. One is the seasonality in the index. Another one will be some example of the seasonality in the sectors or this. Okay, so let's look at the index first. Okay, let's look at the seasonality in the index. Okay, for blue chips index, okay, blue chips index, or we can see the blue chip markets. Okay, it tends to perform better in April, July, and December. How? Um, so if we look into some of the statistical data, if you are trading all these blue chips counters, you have a better chance to make when you are trading in April, July, and December. And if you're trading in August, September, this period of time, normally the performance is it is worse. Okay, so if you look into the charts, the seasonality chart, on average, based on 15 years average, the changes of FBMKLCI in April is somewhere around 2.07%, and July is 1.66%. While in December, it will be 2.11%. So we can see December always FBMKLCI perform better. So this seasonality chart actually supports the saying of year-end window dressing rally, the year-end rally that we have been talking about. And in case that you have been hearing about the window dressing rally, but you never have any idea or stats data to support this saying, this is the data that supports it. Because based on 15 years average, if we take the last day, the last day of the FBM minus the last day of the November, okay, the KLCI reading, on average 15 years, FBM KLCI will up 2.11%. Okay. So if we look into some of the examples, like last year, we can see the KLCI added 53.55%. Okay, 53 points actually. Yeah, in 2020 it added 64 points. 2019 added 27 points. 18 added 10 points, and 2017 it added almost 79 points, near to 80 points. Okay, so you can see even with the past 5 years data, okay, every year it is going up in December. Okay, so one way to benefit from it is a very simple way. Then the very simple way to benefit from it is during the last day of the FBM KFCI, you buy all the 30 blue chip stocks in the market. So meaning you buy already FBM KFCI, okay, and then you sell on the last day of the December. Then you're able to make all this money, okay, because the changes of the index, it actually tells you. But with this, you need to buy with the correct weightage, the correct amount of the shares, so that you can mimic the weightage and the movement in the FBM KLCA. Okay, but this is something that's not easy to do because you need a huge capital. So another options that you can look into is look into the FBM KLCI ETF. Okay, ETF. Okay, where the ETF is ETF and also the structural warrant that mimic the movement of the FBM KLCI. That's another options. Okay. Besides that, you also can look into some of the heavyweights in the FBM KLCI to trade during every year December. Okay, so that you're able to be benefited from it. Okay, so how we can know what are the components of the FBM KLCI is just log into the platform. Okay, log into the platform and then search by the index FBM KLCI. Then you actually get the whole list of the FBM KLCI components. Okay. Adjust and bring up the market cap, okay, and focus on those that with the highest with the higher market cap, because our FBMKLCI is a market cap capitalization weighted. So the higher market cap it is, the more significant it plays into this determining the changes of the FBMKLCI index point. Okay, so you can focus on some of all this higher weightage one, like Petronas Chemical, banking. Maybe you just pick one, Maybank, Public Bank, or CIMB. Okay, and you can focus in Aseta, all this. Okay, based on my experience, normally telco performs better in the month of December. So I would say Aseta is one of the good one to focus in December if you are interested. Okay, but of course, we are another 10 months ahead of December, so maybe by that time you won't remember already. Okay, but if we look into the sector performance, okay, I also have breakdown the sector performance in the month for the month of April, July, and also December, so that we can see what are the sector that performing better, and we can pick the sector. Okay, if you realize they are all this sector that with the star marking with the star, meaning the data was lesser than 15 years. Okay, so because the data is lesser, so the stats data might be not so reliable compared to others. Okay, because if the data is only 4 or 5 years and one of the year is very high, then we will see such a strong such a bias and the skew in the data. Okay, it might be the outlier of the stats data. Okay, so if we ignore all this, then we can see a better one will be somewhere around it will be the technology still, the technology. Okay, besides the healthcare. Okay, if we look at the July, it's still healthcare. Okay, so after healthcare, it will still be technology to trade. Okay, in the month of July. And if we look at December wise, it will be telco. Okay, telco and also Plantation. So yeah, I remember it correctly. Telco is normally the one that perform better when it comes to the month of December. So for April, July, you might want to focus a little bit more on technology in trading. Okay, to take advantage when the trend is going upwards. Okay, then you might want to look some of the potential opportunities in tech counters to trade, to ride along with the trend. And for December, it will be telco and also plantations like Maxis, like Asiata, all this thing, and DG. Okay, so these are some of the things that we can piece and puzzle that we can able to get and help us to improve our trading result from this market. Okay, and if we look into all this small cap counter, all this FBM small cap, we can actually see that despite that FBMKLCI is telling us that December it performed the best. For small cap, the best timing to trade is actually April and also July. April is much better in the early of the year. Okay, so for those who are trading smaller counter, okay, you might want to focus on all the smaller counter in the month of April, okay, and July. Well, when it comes to December, you have to focus on all these blue chips, like telco blue chips in the month of December, based on this piece of information. Okay, as for ACE markets, it will be in July. It will perform the best. Okay, for ACE market counters. Okay, for ACE counter. Okay, yeah. So this with all this information, it can help us to position better what to trade at what time. and which kind of products it give us a better winning opportunities or a better profit margin. Okay. So if you have any questions, you feel free to type into the comments, and I will look into later. Okay, when during the when we are done with the section. Okay, and as for the seasonality in the sectors, okay, we're gonna look into plantation. Okay, um, if we look into plantation, CPO price, it tends to perform better during the year end. Okay, and as for the consumer products, we have several consumer products or selected consumer products that it attracts trading interest during the festive season that I was sharing with you guys, like during Christmas, during Chinese New Year, during Raya, all this. Okay, so these are some of the ideas that we can get for the season, for this seasonality. Okay, so if we look into the seasonality chart for the FCPO, you can see although recently market has been really hot on the CPO price. Okay, we can see the really hot and strong price movement for CPO is actually in year end October to December, while the February is quite encouraging. So you can see recently FCPO plantation counters has been moving really strongly with the strong CPO price, and also with the oil price also lifted the, also been supported the CPO price with the demand from the biodiesel, given the crude oil price has been reaching near the 100 mark. Okay, and with such a strong price in the commodities, it actually also heightened the trading interest of all these plantation counters. Okay, so that's why we can see plantation counters has been really hot in trading recently. Okay, especially everyone is expecting a good quarterly result from plantation, from all these plantation companies. Okay, so how about the price movement for all these plantation companies? Okay, if you look into the plantation index performance, okay, so for all these plantation counters, they tend to perform the best in the month of December actually, and also the next one will be somewhere in April. So if you are not able to catch or get into all these plantation counters at in this one, you think, hey, I want to trade Hapsing, I want to trade Price, I want to trade SOP, I want to trade KM TSH, Genting Plantations, all this, they have been shooting up really high. I don't know what to do. You want to wait. Okay. Yes, you can. If you think they are too high, yes, you can wait. Okay. But when it comes to April, there might be the timing for you to get back in and ride on another round of rally. It might happen in April based on our 15 years strategy, 15 years statistical average data. Okay, then from here you can set up this strategy. Okay, when is the time for you to get back in? And if we look back, if we think back, it's actually quite reasonable. If February it has been a full blown rally, and then it retrace and go quiet for a month in March, and then April rally again. Okay, that actually pretty much reasonable, I would say. Okay, because by that time, if the CPO price remains strong, everyone is expecting the May all these plantation companies can deliver a good result in May as well. So maybe they will be buying ahead of the May results. Okay, so that might happen in the month of April. Okay, and if we look into some of the specific companies, okay, some of these specific companies that their price average 15 years average movement for every month, we can see that in April, in comparison to IOI Corp, SOP, Camlong, and TSH, okay, Camlong and also IOI Corp tend to perform better in the month of April compared to SOP and TSH. Okay, and especially in July, based on the average, Kim Long has been very good performing. Okay, besides Kim Long, then the next one will be SOP in July. Okay, but when it comes to October, November, and December, we can see all these 4 companies, they have been consistently on the their 15 years average has been in positive for all these companies, starting from October, November, and December. 15 years average has been going higher during these 3 months. Okay, especially we can see for October, November, we can focus on SOP. When it comes to the later part, we can focus on TSH in November and December. Okay, yeah. So this, with all this piece of information, they can actually help us to know which are the counters that we can focus, and we can switch our strategy swiftly in between all these counters, because we have all this that piece of information that helping us to make all these decisions. Okay, and I hope with the Plantation counters has been really actively traded at this month, and it might sustain for throughout the whole year, because the demand for the palm oil might sustain and continue with all these policies that are happening in the Indonesia and in the India, and also demand for all this edible oil has remained strong, and it might continue to the plantation and also consumer products would possibly be the key theme for this year. So if that really happened, then you know that April, July, and also October, November, December are the key months for you to trade and make from the market on all these sectors. Okay, so last but not least, when we talk about Chinese New Year rally, okay, we mentioned that there are specific of consumer products that might support on all this that might attract some of the trading interest during the festive season. So if we talk about Chinese New Year, I would say that some of the Chinese New Year sectors and counters that we can look into are all these consumer products that expected to have a higher sales. Like one of the example will be the beverage. When it comes to Chinese New Year, all the Chinese families they will be stock up their house with all this beverage, because there will be people come and go. Okay, and also apparels will be the sector that will benefit from it. Everyone will be shopping for new clothes, all this thing, and especially this also come after the all these sales in December, January, and also February, with all these sales having. Okay, so if we look into the beverage seasonality, okay, we can see for this I have Carlsberg, Heineken, Spritzer, and FNN. Okay, if we look into the seasonality chart, we can actually see February is always a good month for Carlsberg actually performed the best in February. Okay, and it continues to stay quite positive in the month of February, March, and also April. Okay, whereby for Heineken wise, it also quite positive for these 3 months as well. Okay, same with Spritzer, but for FNN, it only started in March and April. Okay, so if you want to trade into these consumer products counters, you can look into FNN in next month and also April. Or for those who want to trade Carlsberg, Heineken, okay, we know that Heineken released a very strong result yesterday night, and today we had a rally in Carlsberg and Heineken. Okay, unfortunately, the result came out earlier last night. Okay, otherwise, if the movement only comes after our session, okay, then you will have more confidence to trade into Carlsberg or Heineken. But based on our statistical data, the move might prolong to March and April. Okay, so for those who miss out Carlsberg and Heineken today, what you can do is you can look for a technical entry to go in, and this could be a swing movement prolonged to March and April. Okay, so there might be still some meat to eat for Carlsberg and Heineken. Okay, and also if we look into besides of the early of the year, November, December also Heineken will be performing better. Okay, it could be due to the year-end Christmas or this festive season as well. Okay, while Carlsberg is tend to perform better in December and also February, April. Okay, so if we look at if we look for apparels wise, okay, February is always is a positive month for orange apparels like Padini, Bonia, Cheetah. Okay, and we can see that in the month of April, there might be a continuation move after a pullback in March. So if you have traded any of all this Padini, Bonia, Cheetah that actually moved recently, you might want to take some profits and avoid to trade them in the month of March and only look back in the month of April. Okay, yeah. So a more consistent movement that we can see is during the year end when there are more sales happening on all these brands. Okay, so with all this piece of data, it can help us to strategize when to get out and what to do after the share price have moved up high, and what is our trading decision. So you can see based on the statistical data on the average price movement for the past 15 years, we know that even Carlsberg and Heineken has moved up more than 10% today. We know that we still want to look into the opportunity to get into these two counters because for the month of February, March, and April, they tend to perform better. But for like Bonia, Cheetah, all this that like Bonia, if I'm not mistaken, Bonia make a higher breakout today, but we know that it's time to get out and take some profits on these counters because there might be some retracement happening in the month of March. And if we want to trade, we might only look back into all these counters in the month of April. Okay, I think Bonia has break higher and Padini also break higher, but unable to close higher. Okay, so these are some of the signal of potential weakness coming in for all this for the apparels counter. Okay, so if I also have table the result of my strategy. Okay, so I've been promoting this strategy since the year 2018. Okay, since the year 2018. Okay, since 2018, I've been asking my client to buy Carlsberg at the end of the day of the last day of January or the opening price, the opening price of the first day in February, and close the position in at the last day of February. Okay, and these are the historical result. Okay, so of course, it's not like every year it's gonna give you 15-20%. There will be some time it only gives you 2% or 5%. Okay, but we can see overall across in a longer term in a bigger data, it will give you a positive movement, a positive result, a positive outcome. Okay, yeah, and if we look into Padini wise, Padini is another one that I have been sharing with them as well. Padini will be weaker in the return, okay, but overall it's still quite positive from throughout the past seven years data. Okay, if and also for my clients that follow in the year 2021 last year, okay, there is a 10.4% increase in Carlsberg last year, so and also a 13.1% increase in Padini, okay, in the year 2021. So we can see for the past 8 years record, only 1 year resulted in losses for Carlsberg, and also for Padini, only 1 year resulted in losses and 1 year is break even, no changes. Okay, so 6 years are giving quite a good profits for Padini. Okay, while Carlsberg is 7 years out of 8 years. Okay, so how about this year? Okay, okay. Before going into looking into this year chart, if we look into the theoretical P&L that happening in last year for those who are trading it, okay, with the 5,000 units of Carlsberg and Padini, okay, it actually gave a 10.7% return in the month just following the strategy. Okay, all right. And as for this year, we can see this is the chart that I have prepared yesterday. Okay, and when I was preparing it, I was actually thinking, this year the Carlsberg hasn't moved really much, so I will able to share with you guys by today, and you guys might able to catch up if it moved during the last week of the year. Okay, there might be still some chance to trade. Okay, so we can see from the last day of the January 31st is only at 20.18 cents, and yesterday it was only at 20.20 cents. Okay, for Carlsberg. And today the closing for Carlsberg is about at 22 ringgit. It's already up 10%. So again, this the strategy for Carlsberg has worked well this year. Okay, I don't really care if for the rest of the month the Carlsberg share price is up or down, but given such a good result in Heineken's, Carlsberg result is expected to be good as well, and with that the share price is likely to support it above 21 ringgit at least, and that actually give at least already a 5% profits for this year on Carlsberg. Okay, yeah. So unfortunately, Heineken released the result earlier. Otherwise, you guys might be able to benefit from this strategy. Okay, because Carlsberg hasn't been moving much early of the month this year. Okay, and PADINI wise, we can see PADINI actually have moved up quite a fair bit from 2 ringgit 87 cents to 3 ringgit 02 yesterday. Is coming near to 10%. Also an up move in PADINI. Okay, so PADINI wise, since we seen such a movement already, okay, the movement might continue prolonged to trade into somewhere into near to this area, near to 3.20 cents resistance, and in March it might pull back. Okay, March it might pull back. You can see it is more towards a sideways movement or pullback in last year March also. Then April we have another move. Okay, so if you are interested in PADINI or you're trading into PADINI in the month of January, February, then you might want to take some profits when you see resistance rejection from the resistance, or when it goes sideways, and then trade again in the month of April. Okay, yeah. All right, so this will be the view. Okay, and this actually tell us what is actually happening in this Chinese New Year rally. What are the counters? What are the sectors to look at in Chinese New Year or other festive season? And also, I hope today's section actually has shared with you guys, give you guys a little bit more ideas on how we can use all these repeated events that are happening every year to look for, to build up some of the trading opportunities and strategies to consistently make money from the market every year, every time. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can feel free to put into the comments, and I will try to answer all of them. Okay, yep. All right, and for those who are yet to open an account with us, okay, you can feel free to scan this QR code, and it will lead you to our online account opening site. Okay, so you can, it's actually just a very simple procedure whereby you just need to spend 5 to 10 minutes to fill in your details, and also for the dealer code, you can put any of this above D200, D300, or D316 to tag under our team. Okay, and from there you're able to submit, and then eventually once the account is open, our dealer representative will contact you and also guide you through to get on board. Okay, yep. All right, so for those who are interested, looking into what are the direction to trade, Carlsberg Heineken has made quite a move, but it could prolong for the month of February, March, and also April. And also we know that Plantations could trade, could continue to trade higher in the month of April, and also the year end. and we know April, July, and December, they are a better month for trading, especially for small cap ACE counter in April and July. Okay, blue chips in the month of December. So all these are the gist of what we have been sharing today. Okay, and I hope that this help you guys to make a better decisions and also perform better in your trading in near futures. Okay, so if there is if there's no questions, thank you very much for joining the sections, and I hope that today informations will help you guys. Okay, and if you like our section, please do like our Facebook page and also share out the video to your fellow friends, okay, in Facebook, so that they will able to benefit from all this piece of information that we shared today. All right, okay. So that's all for today. Thank you very much, and I shall see you guys next month on another topic. Thank you very much, and happy Chinese New Year. Bye bye.